Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager 1-803-2499. This is a specific part number for a machine screw, for a hinge is what it is. And this is the machine screw that's going to be used for 4, 4.5, 5-inch tall hinges. This is stainless steel. This part number literally means multiple things. It means it's a machine screw for those sizes. It means that it's made of stainless steel, and it means that it is in a satin type finish, stainless. There's a lot going on with a hinge screw, believe it or not. This is 1224, meaning the diameter and the thread per inch is a number 12, 24 threads per inch, and that it is 1/2 inch long. Flathead screws are measured from the top of the head to the bottom of the threads. This is 1/2 inch long. I just mentioned there's a lot happening with a hinge screw. Let's go over all of the things that are happening with a hinge screw.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
Okay, what is going on with a hinge screw? Well, lots of things, as I've said. Let's go over it. First of all, the diameter of the screw and the thread count is exactly what you're going to use on a machine application. In a machine, a templated machine screw, drilled and tapped application is going to be a reinforcement that's been welded into a steel frame or a steel door. That's where you're going to use that. Or some sort of a mounting tab that's been applied to a aluminum frame. Anywhere where you need a templated machine screw, the term templated means they've taken the template and they've created the door or the frame or whatever it is, or the mounting tabs, you know, the reinforcements for the hardware, and made it according to what the template says. It is a templated machine screw. The location has been determined, the exact location, the diameter of the hole, the threads that have been tapped. It's all templated. Well, first of all, it's the right diameter and length for a typical application for those hinge sizes and other hardware that could use this. First of all, it's flathead. You're going to need that for a hinge application, and that's what this is, a hinge screw. Second of all, it is undercut head. I'll show you in a moment in a photograph. The bottom side of the bottom of the underside of the head is not fully V-shaped until it comes to the body. It's not. It's undercut so that a hinge screw can be flush with the top of what it's being installed to. What that means is the hinge is not thick enough for a full flathead application. It would be too tall. The top of the head to the underside of where the threads would start, it would be too thick. It wouldn't sit flush, so they undercut them. No other screws are really like that, that you end up seeing for hardware applications, except for applications like strike plates will have an undercut, an 832 machine screw that can be undercut as well because that strike is extremely thin, that material. So it's flathead, it's undercut, it's a number 3 Phillips. Not all hinge screws are number 3 Phillips. Sometimes you'll see a number 2, but number 3 is the standard. Don't use a number 2 bit in this. Get yourself a number 3. It'll go much easier. It's obviously 1224 thread. The length is 1/2 inch, which is sufficient. This is what's called a thread forming screw. And I'll show you in a picture in a minute. The camera's focused actually. Right there you can actually see a little weird detail to the very tip of the screw. It comes down to a slight taper, and it has that groove cut in the side of it. And the reason it does is, and I've seen it myself with my own eyes, a hollow metal manufacturer, they're going to send their doors and frames through a paint line, a giant spray booth, and they are spraying the material. One way or another, automated, by hand, whatever. Paint gets everywhere, including in the threads of your tapped holes. The factory is not going back in to clean them out. The hinge manufacturers know, neither are you. No one's cleaning out those threads, even though all published documentation tell you whenever you're using templated machine screws, to take your tap and clean those threads out, get the paint out or anything else that's there. They know you're not doing it, so this type of screw will tolerate that inappropriate approach to attaching screws, thread forming screws. This is not going to take a hole that's not tapped and create threads. It's not what this is. This is just meant to clean out any paint, residual paint that's in there, and there will be in that material. Let's switch to the screen view and let's take a closer look at the supporting information that we do have. So let's do that now.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
Okay, so let's go over what we're dealing with here. We've got a bag of screws. You can buy these in a bag of 100, or you can buy them as each. The pricing is quite different. Well, it's noticeably different, not drastically so. Having 100 of stainless steel screws may not be appropriate, and just buying what you need to finish the job is probably a better idea, unless you need multiples of 100. Flathead, thread forming tip here, thread forming tip, undercut head, profile, a little pixelated. Number 3 Phillips. That's really what's knocking out the threads there best as possible. It doesn't always work, but it does give you a chance to get it installed or the screw in. Now, here is a page out of the manufacturer's price list, because this is the only place where they list this data. On this page, there are 3 base materials: steel, brass, and stainless steel. There are 2 types: wood screws and machine screws. They only sell these per box, but it's always 100. It should just be per 100. I suppose. How many are in a box? Well, a bag of 100. Well, no, how many are in a box? A bag of 100. There's 100 in a box. So it'd be just easier if they just... Anyway, you can see how the part changes every time. Not only the screw and screw type change, the base material changes, but also when the finish changes. They literally have a unique part number for every finish. So that's handy, but it's not one part number and then your finish. So it does tell you specifically what you're looking for. Meaning, when you have a part number, you know exactly what it is. You know it's a machine screw, for steel base, and a satin bronze finish for this size. Okay. Now there's a link below this video as seen here. If this was the page, there'd be a link right here to the manufacturer's page. And when you click on that, you can pull up not only all of the Hager products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog here and other encyclopedic documents that are here. Speaking of catalogs, we have a copy of the Hager catalog from 1915, 108 years old at this moment. We have a link to the Hager keying service manual, their product finishes guide, cylinder cores and keying catalog, lots of interesting stuff. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Okay, in conclusion, if you have any questions on the Hager 1-803-2499 stainless steel machine screw for hinge applications, 1224 flat undercut head Phillips thread forming, or any other Hager product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.
Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.